we invite many akawo. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we have invited a brother and a sister to come and talk to us about mental health. So they will introduce themselves and then we'll take it up from there. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Takbir. Allahu Akbar. My name is Osman Ahmed Ochri. I'm the CEO of an NGO called A New Beginning Rehabilitation Center. And our main mandate is to advocate for mentally challenged people roaming in the streets. The way we advocate for them is to be able to see how to take them to mental health facility for admission and treatment, and also to offer them after treatment support. Just like you were told earlier, today, this whole month, the month of May, every year is Mental Health Month, or what has been termed as the Purple Month. So, as a Muslim and as an Islamic-oriented NGO, we all have to see how best to carry the message to the Muslim Ummah across the nation. And we are very fortunate to see that Ghana Muslim Mission organizes monthly programs, monthly conferences, so it fits in very well to be able to come here and talk to you about mental health. Actually, we are just an NGO. We are not experts in the mental health field. So we contacted the Mental Health Authority, who gave us a sister to come and speak on mental health. So she will come here, but I'm taking the opportunity to introduce my NGO to you because I know that everybody have seen somebody walking in the streets that we know that the person or group of people physically appear to be mentally disturbed. And the worst part of it is that there will be a time that you can even see somebody that because of their mental state, they have stripped themselves naked and walking in the streets. And everybody have seen some. Nobody can say they have not seen. But just like our Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam advises, if you see something that is not good, do something about it. If you cannot do anything about it, say something about it. If you can't say something about it, at least hate it in your heart. And that is even the weakest of faith. And I know very well that everybody here, when they see a human being, whether male or female, that has stripped naked on the street, they feel very bad. But it's unfortunate that we belong to a society that certain things like this, we don't take it as a matter of urgency. Everybody who has been in any developed country and any Islamic-oriented country knows that if you see anybody go into that state, it will take less than 30 minutes to take them from the street. But why is it that our country called Ghana, in such situations, the whole scene looks like nobody cares? Because with my own Gani eye, I've seen one person who is a male that is naked on the street for solid 5 years. 5 solid years. And I know most of you have seen, because it's not in Kumasi, right in Accra here. So what is wrong with our society? So the bottom line is that we cannot sit down and be unconcerned about it. So we have formed this NGO to help people like that. And so far, we formed it a few years ago, but at least we've been in the life of not less than 16 people. And out of the 16 people, it's only one that is a Muslim. So the organization is not formed for Muslims, but it is also Muslim-oriented people and our contribution towards the betterment of society. So all what I can say before the speaker comes is that in your community, if you know somebody that you yourself know, even if you know their family, you know that the family is such a way that they don't even have money to take them to hospital, just contact my NGO. When you contact Brother Neokai, he will give you my contact. We'll work on it, because the Mental Health Act states that it is the work of the district assemblies and their social welfare offices. But unfortunately, most of the time when you go there, they will tell you, we don't have logistics, we don't have car, we don't have this. They will come with a whole lot of tales. But we have a way to handle it that we cannot put all here. But I'll plead with Ghana Muslim Mission to help me, our organization, to take at least 10 people from the society anywhere, recommended by members of the Jamaat, to the hospital. We deal with Pantan Hospital to treat them and also give them after treatment support. So this is all what I can say for now. So I would like our sister to take over to give us the actual lecture that we came here for. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. My name is Samira Majid. I'm a specialist psychiatrist at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. I'm actually here to give a talk on mental health, which our brother has already stated. Now, I want to say that I'm very happy to be here standing in front of my fathers, my mothers, my sisters and brothers because of where I have gotten to. It was through the prayers of our Ummah that made it possible to reach my goal, and standing in front of you today to actually give back to my Muslim community is actually an honor. And I hope that I'll be able to impact and then educate us about what mental health really is. So before I start, Mr. Chairman, and to the whole crowd, I know there are a lot of misconceptions about what mental health and mental health disorders are. And for that matter, I think most of us do not know who a psychiatrist is. And so before I start, I would like to ask the audience who we think a psychiatrist is and what a psychiatrist does. Is anybody in the audience? Or Mr. Chairman?
If you are Makashi, Makashi Yamiu, she kwenye nyele nyabini, she in lekaji ekwe evanya every can ni chukwanyamo Lojuba. She beat and one Casimoka or Cassia, who ni brofu a put me. What the ancha wagan more the ancha, it was how work a remo. It was Bell Babo, modern war while a few. A ha one hourly Akashi, a truani ye Kolebu, many taflache, I may you two aloo, I may bet your mommy. chamo ojogba amajimeni amecha ameko ame chingmene yichoni akaba hale be wonkwe jomomi hiwale namo ni kaji akena kan money achole doctor afonu call ne kegbemene miniji enuchumo ni miniji no ni echuo ewo be fon wie mo ha wo ake mekumempo nu wole nuku ta flache wona seke yilodan ni kaja akemene eji idotrafo ni ekole ti wo susun akena kan gbomo echu eniten ewo noji no ni chukun ba bi wo no hanim bi akekeje nu ogan le kun akegan ba je le la be ke blofo ba si wo kegan ba je le na ewo ni chukun ni nke wie mo mi choni aba ko ni ke moko ba anya ewa wo fiu wona afi ni hie ni itawo ni ke waya moko we ni no dok ba unu ogan feel na chere se wuti twi
kakra
o ti twi pa sanse o yi twi ni ewo be kaji moko wo enini no ni iba wawo bona afi ni nya gbele ebe iba acha no mo pa cho to aso
me da say nti na me bi say one psychiatrist. Who is a psychiatrist?
o fa na wie mo ne na nu moko mfe na kan imba au o pa cho o fa na wie mo bro.
A medical doctor who diagnoses and treats mental or emotional issues.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Moko hu eko obi nso beka bi oti twi o nti se wo de twi kula.
Okay, a psychiatrist is a physician or a trained person who deals with behavioral or emotional issues.
Thank you.
No, now you have a bro for it.
So please, what conditions do you know that we treat at our facility? It's important that I'm asking you because what I've realized in my line of work is that a lot of people do not know that there are certain conditions that can be brought to the psychiatrist to be treated. And so it's important that I know a little bit of what we are thinking that a psychiatrist will do first before I can delve in deeper.
Sir, ya mami baby sa na mo dwunu ho a ede ben ayare support e na mususu se omode ma eye nkrofo a ya kan omo asemi me chaba wosusu akesha mekan ha ne kemene ofane moku awawo eke ehihia akesa na ebi adakesa na egbula wojomo kapa domo no ni eke wo ba na wi mo ketwomo yi eso twe ya adwene begina the oppressor near can asem no nti deba at the airport na munim say eye ayaresa omode ma nkrofo omo saati die ni Ajia enamo Ajia ofa na anima ba ofa ni
depression.
Okay, yes. Is anybody else? Please.
ofa you nimba.
Please, anxiety disorders.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
You're fine. Nani, je sekefa mecha. She make me ameye intogbamu. Na kan intogbamu very severe. Ni okoto fa ho we amecha no be ho.
Doc, what she block for ya here. Doc,
Ofane one actually migraine.
Migraine, okay.
Ilia can only if told me how more we ba wa me no cha le we ya we koko keba. I say omo omuti etumi pai won din a omo numu edura still enko no eno so no musa.
Okay. I think and last one.
I can we ada kan numu ko bala na iton idomo ni ese ni bon to mo. Wo sani Ewo umye kura ni matoni manasabi. Ofane.
Dementia.
I say dementia.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. It's good to know that.
Ofa ne high fever ho. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
musa high fever and so.
Okay.
You.
Yeah.
Na.
Thank you very much. It seems we know what the psychiatrists do, but like you've mentioned, there is a whole lot more a psychiatrist than just the ones that you've actually mentioned.
Someone also said stress management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And here, mostly, I'm going to delve deeper into the condition a little bit so that we know, even though we are mentioning anxiety, depression, and all that, do we know what the individual has to experience before we say that this person has depression, this person has anxiety? And so, just so that we all know that a psychiatrist does a lot, and what you just mentioned is just a tip of the iceberg of what a psychiatrist does. So to start with,
Yeah, be an ebe ha wana wole akeshi. Wacheche ekume mu. She none wacheche ine fense. Amechuo nodi ya no nakan. Kaji no ko ngba moko jomona. Ake areho. How more? P more. Jara moi. Ni nakan gbomo ye mi e. Ani wasusu no ni poten ni ha nakan gbomo ebote nakan su emi lo. Ike ene ji ameni chumo ake sana me ya shipon kra na ya kwa heni nakan ni eje. Poni abon ichamo kejeje me ke ba shingle no ni gbomo ise. Ene iwo iko ba botu wo jiami. Poni fi oni ikeba ikewo aja.
so when we talk about mental health, what we are saying is that you are well enough, okay, or it's more of like a state of being well or well-being where the individual can cope with the stresses of life. The individual can realize their ability. The individual can work and also contribute to the society. And so if there's anything that is affecting all these things that I have said, would predispose you to developing a mental health problems. So forget about the fact that yes, you see individuals who are walking on the street. A lot of us, or even if it is not us, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers may actually have a mental illness, and we probably would think that it's just one of those things. So it's important that we know that if we are not able to do these things that I mentioned, then that means there's a probability or whatever is causing that can lead you to developing a mental health problem.
Ya bia ne kaji ake jomo mi hewale papa namo noji no ni yi obo bomo adesan ni enyo etuon ni ke wa ejaku na kan no bomo onyo efi ono ni hi ke no ni sa ke ha le di enche ni ehile ya no bo ni itawo kaji e bala kashi ene ya ye omanye ni e bala kashi ha umoko jese kemba be ebi akashi sani anya akwe ni heni ni eje anya achake jejeme ekekaji wa akwa ye wo satenyi eyemiaka wona mekome ni tafrache ayeye sekeke yin egbe no mu chi ye no fe hu se ye wo hyian ankro mi ye be kuma fe mu ekome ya no wona ye wonyami mami wona ye be kuma po wo follow ya mi ni efie wa akashi o boni efio na kano ni wo ekome mpo gbe o inele ni mini ta cholete dabi ene ake ina Washington.
Okay, so we have to understand that if you want a holistic health, it's not only about your physical health, it's also about your mental health. Know that yes, you can be physically well and you have a mental health, it would inadvertently affect your physical health. and the other way around. So it's very important that we don't look at only physical health and then ignore mental health, because it all comes together to give you the holistic help that you actually need to function well.
Kaji anke bombomi hewale chamo ekpakpa kefie woka kwa jomomi no baby e wonkwe wogbomoche ahewale namo si wonyi ekpa no akashi jomomi hewale namo hu e no hu ewa bi aboni okwa jomomi no ni efie ogwa akashi nuele nakano o enele monopause ene menopause ene hiano ene yiano ni o shi si kajo nu ha ka na nemi shabu o yo ya kwe ko nu akashi o musun ko bo o yo ya kwe ti ye no ni han ni owi o baba o no fi oni bi ko me ni sadabi nuele okwe e ka bia boni o jomomi no eji ha o mo kan hapu e no no ba yele ke ba gbomochu emi ni e ba habu na agba ye jeme.
The first one is psychotic disorders, and that is what we normally will see individuals walking around. But mind you, when it started, it didn't just start suddenly and then they started walking around. They started gradually. So if you are there or you know a family member, before I even make this point, let's know that mental health is very common, okay? It's estimated that if you take 4 families, 1 family at least would have somebody with mental health problems. But you and I, we know that we are more of the extended family in Ghana here. So you may say that 1 out of 4 families, but it may cut across a lot of families, okay? And so starting with the psychotic disorders, mostly what it starts with is that individuals will start saying that they hear somebody talking to them when nobody is there. Okay, we are in a room and only you are there. There's nobody with you, but we are hearing that somebody is talking to you. You look back, you look around, there is nobody there. You are even saying that, auntie, are you calling me? Well, yes, sometimes it does happen, but if it is something that it's been going on for a very long time, where you are there, you are hearing that people are talking to you when nobody is there. When you are there, you are seeing things, okay? You are seeing snakes, you are seeing somebody wearing something white. You are asking your relative, can't you see that man standing by the window? He's threatening me, he's holding a knife. Those kind of things, you are hearing things, you are seeing things. And sometimes this individual, you see that they are just there and they are just talking to themselves, okay? Nobody is talking to them. They are talking, moving their hands as though they are talking to somebody. They neglect their personal hygiene. So for somebody who you know that every day is bathing, all of a sudden stops bathing, doesn't care the kind of dress he's wearing, doesn't take the personal hygiene important, okay? You'd also see that individuals would just be there and staring blankly at one place until you even tap them. And sometimes when you even tap them, they are out of you. You can see that they are probably not where you are actually communicating with them. Another thing is that when you talk to them and ask them a question, you realize that whatever they are saying doesn't make a meaning, okay? You are asking them a question and they are saying something unrelated to whatever you are talking to them. And those are some of the, when it comes to psychotic disorder, know that it would have started gradually before it reached the level where they now will take to the streets, walking around and all that. So that is the need why we have to let everybody know what these symptoms are, so that immediately it starts, we can sort for help for those individuals and then help them come back to their usual self.
Hey, yelile, wanye nyelo nwie ona ni etwake taka bonu wona ni meku menhie agbona ni ameji amehie eje shi shikomepe na mebashe na kangle no shimo eje shi fio na eje shi eha okadi ikome ni okadi eko na eha aji okometo oye onu ohe akesho keto momoko nchebu ewo bekumempo obi o akeshi o aje ofa na o nchemilo eba ke u dabi nche kubu esho be kume ona akesho ke to momoko domo niena di ka obi anyami moni domo jen o nale ne e ke nale oba ya tumi oba nani ekometo edomo ahwehwe ahie you must still look before you jump. You look ona ekometo ela ke domo ahwehwe mi. You must look before you jump. And many sani bomo anada na etu. On agbenebe bomo ejenshi enfe ni bi ikome. Eke biami ni eyale na kanye. Waka nale akashi o menele taflache elu o jelu money ekome ni eku ejomo no ko bibio epo ye wo epo ife mo. Eke ke wo kwa wo weku che ni wo yo. Ke akwa weku ekome enyo eten etwe bofen boniji ye abana ekome ye mi. Shin aka nu wo na ala aka shin na kanji boni eji o mena mele ameyi ofe oe mena mo ko ene ba hwe onyi ahye yegbete kra ni o ba akola aka shin na kanshi eke eshishinje ye ekome boni eji ne.
So another disorder that we take care of is the depression. So here individuals feel very sad. You know, we are human beings, and so once in a while we'll feel sad. But then when it is persistent, it continues most days, okay? The whole day, only you are feeling sad. And nothing that happens seems to make you happy. Things that you used to love doing, maybe for myself or someone, if it was more of cooking or maybe listening to Kira or reading books, all of a sudden you realize that you've lost interest in all these things. You wake up in the morning and you feel as though you don't have enough energy to get up and do your activities. You just want to be in bed. You don't even want to come out and mingle with your family, talk to your family. You are always inside. You start to feel like there is no hope for you. You start to feel you are not able to eat. You are not able to sleep at night. You are always thinking. Okay, and then one other thing that is very serious is when individuals start thinking about harming themselves. As Muslims, we know that it's haram for us to even think about or wanting to harm ourselves. But sometimes when individuals have mental health problem, they tend to have thoughts of wanting to end their lives, right? And that is why a bill was passed that they have decriminalized suicide. And now if anybody is caught who attempts it, what they do is that they take you to a psychiatric facility where you are taken care of. So yes, if anybody, your friend, your father, your mother, your sister comes and jokingly tells you that I'll kill myself, please, let's not take it for granted, or let's not take it lightly at all, because these individuals who come and tell you lovely like that oh, they'll kill themselves, you may not see them crying or anything. By the time you realize they've done something to hurt themselves. So let's be very careful when our loved ones or anybody comes and then tells us that they want to harm themselves. It's very important that we seek the necessary help for those individuals.
Yeah, baby, ebale akashi noni huni kene bi neba ayreho yeli tutu ni gbomokome kejelebi beno ba na efo ko bi like ma bo fo enye chonbo noni ha ni efo ni bi na efio ni ena mi shefe na kani ekwa esumo ni efio bebi podi anche kete shilebi eda posha mo keke ni ba bagbo na keje ye heku ni ba sha etun be ba fefen ye tun emi be eho tun emi esumo na eji opo esumo na na moko esumo ni ke moko wio ka onale ba ga se o menele agbe na eye nko me mfasu gabi kwamlo ojogba eke obanye ona onyami alo owekunyo ebanye bagbo na ba ke bo akeshi chale we tenabo ni inna hie enfemi akeshi ngbe he oba nwo ahu ike ka mo ekole ni no eje shisike ba ewo be ko me kaji ebale akeshi onala ke noko pekeke efio benu oba hele shi ke efi ni ene ehami wie moko alo susu moko ake wo ake imam fuye beke ake kuba je fan ji no ni wo aka shi rukia shi wo kwelo jugba ni ahana akela ya na aya kweda chi bebi ke ba je wode no o akela atashi oba kan ni wo hale anye ni kan ni mo no benu ba na igba bakaya ke ikenya betun ake shi hila ya jeme Allahu asa ahawo.
So another thing is that sometimes individuals may feel as though they feel anxious, they feel like something bad is going to happen to them. All of a sudden, I mean, nothing really triggers it. They're just there and then start worrying. Any small thing, when they hear news that somebody, I mean, on television, that some people have had accidents and all that, even when they haven't even heard such news, they are scared. They are anxious. They feel as though something bad is going to happen to them. Then they'll start having their heart beating very fast. They have chest pain. They cannot breathe. Okay. And you can see, when you see them sweating and all that. And that really affects their daily activities. Another one is that sometimes some individuals may have recurrent thoughts. Maybe I've gone and performed ablution right now. I'm like, did I even wash my face? How many times did I wash my face? Or did I even wash my leg? Okay, then the person goes back and that's it. They have the doubt that they've washed, it's not clean. But if this thing is persistent, I know once in a while it happens to us. But if this thing is persistent, sometimes our mothers and our sisters, you finish cooking, you've put off the gas, then you are inside, it's like, hey, is the gas still on? Let me go and check. Then you go and check, the gas is off. You come, then, did I really go and close? Did I put the gas off? Then you go again, you go and check. Because if you do not go and check, you start to feel anxious, as if I don't go and this house burns down and all my property and all that, you start worrying unnecessarily. So these recurrent thoughts that, examples that I have given, which are associated with feeling anxious and feeling uneasy, okay, are some of the disorders that I'm talking about.
Eka be come be ye shemo mobu ni na kan be ye shemo ni mo bu ehiwo ehan efi obo akashi kaji ni bi come ye no fe lodugba ike haumo baba ewo be come mpo kaji ne kan gbomo na ka enanu he akashi accident ko e ba ye he ko be tu e bon twa no la che bon lecha be ye e mole e ka be come ne kan gbomo na eku e ba fe wudu kefo ewudu e ba domoshin fi ola geshin alo yin tepo nfoku keti ke afo keba no alo nile himu alo ke to monu hun fo dan be e solomon e fi ola enyo eteten ke ete kabli fe mo e ba fe badi ke fe badi fe mo ke ya fe kabli e yen solomon ne kan we na solomon na dan solomon e toton yen yin gbe no e ho ni no e yetumi egbe gas eba keje ko no e ba fe la ke alo gas ngbe ani yakwe kete yakwe dana e se ehegbeye ke ha ni bi ku mefe mo e ke ene mefe eji okadi ni ike jomo mi helai e ku meba.
I must say that if it happens to you just once or twice, that is fine. But if it persists, all these things that I'm talking about, as human beings, once in a while we will experience them. But then when it is very persistent, every time it's occurring to the extent that it's affecting your life, your work, okay, taking care of yourself and your family, then it's a problem.
Kaji na kan fe mo na ba shikome ni miawu ni ba shikumi eko enu elegbama adesanshin na mi ni fe money shi kaji ni eba tutu eba hu gbeko ni mi mani asumo apen nka wo nfaye ebe ni pesia hu pekan bi na mo ko npen mo na ko pe ka pa ka mo le shi ni ma shi le na ewo no ni pekan mi ko mete shi ne ke ma ba yin ke minisani ko nye ke pen ba shi ni ma shi yen ke ni pen je no check off aye ni nkani ni ti jeme pene ho jeme ona ni eku ene ba anye ha ni ona eni ni eyo ona twi be no ba hele hie o fe no ni bi ku mani isa ni afio ka shikome yoshi na mi da bi nu ele eyin shimo ka ji echa no da na bo kome to sole mo efe bu enyo iten da na ka mo kome he aka sole e da bi o na o sole mo pepepe ayemi ena je ruki ya ni shani abon do ko fe mo fiu na akwa.
Okay. One very important thing that is actually happening in our communities is gambling and the use of substance problem. In Islam or in the Quran, Allah has forbidden some things for us, and gambling and use of what? Illicit drugs or drugs that can harm us. But our curious selves want to experience that, and so realize that some individuals will start using certain substances like marijuana, cocaine, cigarettes, alcohol, okay, shisha, hashish, red, that's tramadol, mushroom, ecstasy, methamphetamines, caffeine, that is excessive use of caffeine. All these substances, we start as taking them for recreational use. But at a point, it is not about your willpower in using those substances. At a point, you keep on using, and what happens is that there's a chemical, I'll come to explaining that later. There's a chemical that is released anytime you indulge yourself in that, and that makes you happy. Just like how when you see a particular food that you love, you are very excited about it, you want to eat this particular type of food, or you want to watch this particular movie and all those things, and the happiness you get. With the substances, what happens is that those chemicals are released. So it gets to a point where you are not in control of that again. It doesn't matter if you really want to use it or not. It becomes compulsory. You have to go and take the substance, or else you will not feel well. And you won't feel well because there are some withdrawal, I will say withdrawal. So if you are somebody who has been abusing alcohol for a very long period of time, if a day you do not go without taking alcohol, what happens is that you start having stomach pain, you feel like vomiting, your hands start shaking and all that. And so at that point, it has affected your brain. It has become a mental illness. You know that alcohol or whatever substance you are using is going to affect your body, yet still you use it. You know that drinking and driving is not good, yet still you would drink and you would drive. Some individuals have to go the extent of stealing, okay, not only for the alcohol but for the cannabis, opioid, heroin. That's even the worst, because you start it right now and you cannot control yourself. You even have to steal to actually get the substances and use. At that point, these individuals cannot control themselves, and it is a mental health problem. They need help. Let's not see it as bad behavior. Yes, it started as wanting to try bad behavior, but it gets to a point where they cannot control themselves. The same thing with gambling, and it's quite disheartening because nowadays when you're walking by the gambling facilities, you see very young children. And even now, even in our communities, you see slot machines where children are playing the slots. Indirectly, they do not know what they are doing, but we are indirectly allowing them and pushing them into the gambling and the substance use gradually. Okay, so we have to be very careful. And even our gambling facility, you see that, yeah, sometimes football and all that, then our young, the kids, less than 18 years are around. They even go and sit. They said when 18 years are not allowed, but they sit around, they are watching. People are gambling. Okay, hey, I'm going to use 100 CDs. What happens with the gambling is that when you start, they've done the gambling machine such that when you apply, like when you stake, okay, maybe your first time or your second time, you may get something back. Okay, and they've done it such that you do not know the number of times you have to stake to win it. and you do not know how many time or the duration before you stake. So what you do is you keep on staking, hoping that you will get a win. And mind you, sometimes you may get a big win, a lot of money, but what happens is that you will use that same money you get to go and restake, and you will lose. That's it. You will lose the money. Please, let's forget. And I know our brothers and sisters, we've been watching telly where people come and say, and I won this million. You know, in Islam it's haram. But you see, some individuals still stake it. Let's know that it could get to a point where you cannot control yourself. You will even sell your own clothes to actually go and stake to get it. So let's be careful about these, the substance and the gambling. And we are losing a lot of our youth to that. So it's very important that we know our mothers, our sisters, and our brothers, our fathers, we know of anybody in the family who is exhibiting this, there is help for the person.
Hey, Lilo, nyami yo eka wabi yo echi nokuta. Eke Quran yichu wie ni niji asoshwemo kedan. Akeshi neken fe mwene fe eji shetan ni na nuchumo. Ena hiwo wachi wo hikejehi. Eke fe wo akeshi nueleje hilani. Eke aji hilani. Pe abo ni ayureho yeli tutu banye egba gbomochu ena. Eneme banye fe gbekome ni kaji moko chono na kan gbomo eba bote na kan ayureho yeli tutu emi ni agbene eba aka kra. Mini hewo eke biami ni wonkwe ne kan aso hwemo ke emi chofan kome kolomo keke eka akeshi be kome echeche epi ekome red yemi shinu yellow ke green chukwe market traffic light aja keshi ke wabu esa no wa ke habu esa no ya shineke mene amenuo ke ya shi oheku e kaji gbikome ni noni efonfe mo eku ya agbomochu emi efiola aketomo ibehi wale no hewo mekome ti oshimanke hima na ametu ya me ashio ni ne blukio se ame ashio agbo niko ni ateshi na ha me alake na kan hie ni nakani ebe mi enye hie kan ikejo momi na agba ekojinu bia mi ni gbe kan hwe aso ni emfela akeshi ahwe somo je noko ni ike ahwe somo toni afe akeshi nomes kume na akefio ewo kaji neke no ma na egbo jibo ko ba mi shikome hie nyono ka egbele habu ko na noko nikajo na noko ene fiobo akeshi sani oyano ofe yoni shika abono ba anaka jemi ke chonu no mi na kan shika e ba hefe yodi ni esho be kome mene temi eche be kome podi enche atale ni le di enche he ni ewo alo etv ko ni ma etumi alo radio ko ni ma etumi ewo ne ya ne ya ho ni ikeba hwe aso eku moko hu ye ni lehu e ba ju moko no ne ya ho ni ikeba hwe eku ike ene mefe ni cho oyise chon akeshi una jomomi hela.
Currently, I'm going to jump to our pregnant women, our children, and our old age individuals. So for our pregnant women, because they are pregnant and there's a lot of hormonal changes here and there, they are also at risk of developing the depression I talked to you about, and also the psychosis I mentioned earlier, where people are hearing voices, they are seeing things, not taking care of themselves. It's very important that I mention this because for the pregnant woman and for those who have actually delivered, it's not only the mother that is at risk now, it is also the child, because it's the mother that is going to take care of the child. And so if the mother has a mental illness or has such symptoms, it can affect the child. Inadvertently, there are some individuals, the mothers, who even have thoughts that they should kill their child because their child is naughty, as this child is satanic, this child. We've seen a lot of that. So it's very important for our mothers who are taking care of women who are pregnant and also have delivered, let's watch out for this. If you have a pregnant woman in your house who is always crying, is not taking care of herself, doesn't come out to talk to family and do things that you notice that she does every time, or you see this unusual behavior that I mentioned earlier, it's very important that you seek care immediately. Also for our children, let's know that mental illness does not affect only adults. It affects children and it also affects the elderly. So for children, some children growing up, you'd realize that they cannot talk. They have difficulty communicating. They are not able to play with their friends. You see that always they want to be on their own. They are playing with a particular toy, okay? And then you notice that they behave, there's a repetitive behavior. And sometimes you see that some of them, they do head banging. You see that they're using their head to hit the wall, okay? They are hurting themselves, but you see that they are always everywhere. Sometimes you will notice that for children, I mean, in certain settings, they cannot sit down. They are all over the place, even in class and all that. But when it is time for you to do something for them, for a child should be able to sit down and do things. But for this particular child, it's always everywhere. It's jumping so far, running from one place to the other. I know that, yes, it's specific for children do behave that way. But then, if it is very distractive, when you go somewhere and even tell the child to sit down quietly, the child is everywhere, jumping, sofas, chairs, throwing things about. They cannot sit in class and concentrate when the teacher is teaching them. Okay, you notice that sometimes, even not for the children, if they grow up a bit, you've not even asked them a question, they're already answering. When you send them to go and get things, they cannot wait their turn. Okay, and then there are some other children that they don't pay attention to anything. So for those children, you buy like books every time they go to school. They will misplace their book, their school uniform, their shoe. They'll even come home with one shoe. They do not pay attention in class, in their writing. They are always, for children, yes, but if it becomes too much, okay, where even the teachers are even complaining about it, it's a problem. You need the child you have to bring the child in for assessment. Also, the convulsion, we also treat convulsion where children start shaking, foaming, okay? We also treat that, but I mean, the physicians also treat that as well. Let's know that those conditions can be treated very well in the hospital setting. Another thing,
kajika wo busania kume atue na kan be kume ko nyin be kwami ahu be shukwasani da na be water hospital so aja kashin kaji wo kwenno ni ewie na achon yo holo kaji ibale akashin dwomomi hila yagbe na be gbe kan ni yo musun emi ele hu ibanye na eko ni wo menu wo chon gbe kan bia ni e be kuma o na ka gbe kan ko ye ni o boy o modern ka solimo ke no fen no shin gbe kan e sha fi sponis and e sha o ban na ka shin ka jin na kan ye be ibanye balake ne kan ha o mo ne eku e follow te mi bia mi ni anyele ho ni ye no se hu e ha wo na wole akashin kaji e balake shin afọ gbe kan ni gbe kan Jomomi hila ekonyo eni nale ni enohe ni ayosi oji gbekan ni ye flim etashi yabie ona keshin nekan ni na shika ka womi echi enwe shikpon echi enwe ke gbekan ento ya chochuru he ne ko aka noko ni ke fe ne ba plason okele ya he ko no ba ke tashi ne iba tashi ka ta chonemi e ba bi bo question kan ke na choho ma e wo no ni ho na choni ke na enani ho ma e wo ene ko choni ni e na ke ta choni mi no ke e bi bo choni e sani e ko bi mi e ko ne kan le bi na info amedampo shika ntesa ni makwele enyo on na ka shin yawo moto mba machine no nu moko mebo malam na ke moto e ba machine bi ne ba ajeko ni mo ko me bon bi mo mala wo onjepo info ameda mala wo no ya wo chins na oba ye ni da no ojepo ni mbila ko oba ye ni eni eko ke da bi ona sani eko ye ni ka bi e ko okwe ona no ni wo na bi obu na kan sani e ike ina mefe ka jike u na e ka fe bu akashi no ko follow shi ko o ke ya besa ni shika yin ese o na nya kwela.
Okay, so due to lack of time, I'll just have to wrap up a bit. But I want us to know that if you observe that any family member, any friend, or anyone who is close to you, you realize that there's a change in the person's behavior, there's a change in the mood of the person, or there's a change in the way the person thinks, it's very incumbent that they need help. Another thing is that our facilities provide treatment, medication, and some therapy for the various conditions. And so you can always visit those facilities for help. As Muslims, we know that we do ruqya for individuals who have mental illness. It's important that, yes, we do the ruqya, but then it's good that we combine the ruqya with the medical treatment. I know that there are some individuals who think that going to the hospital for that is a waste of time. But let's know that it is Allah that helped us discover the medications that we are using for these individuals. And it is not haram to actually visit the hospital where you can actually get the needed help and the support. So it's very important that, yes, whilst we are doing the religious and spiritual aspect, we combine it with the medical aspect as well, so that we get holistic care for these individuals. It's very important. And lastly, I think our brother has already mentioned that he's with an NGO. It's very disheartening that even when you go to Accra Psychiatric Hospital, you will still see individuals who are walking around there who have mental illness. But unfortunately, the hospital cannot do much about it because they cannot take these individuals in and take care of them because there's no logistics. Unfortunately, the government is not providing enough. And truth be told, taking care of individuals who have mental illness is a big challenge. And you and I, if you have somebody who has mental health problems in the house, you see how it is. More of the whole, whoever is taking care of the person has to put a hold on their life because the person has to constantly take care of this individual. Bathing, feeding, making sure that everything is fine. Even if you have a child who has a bit of a mental illness, you as a parent have to sacrifice so much. So it's very important that we know, just like the Quran says that what orphans, we take good care of them. For them, they are also almost like orphans because what they cannot reason for themselves. They cannot take care of themselves. So let us help in the little way that we can, even if it is not financial. But you see, even the stigma that goes on in the community where you see that somebody is mentally unwell and then they'll be like, oh, this one, there's nothing, she's mad. Mind you, we don't like that term, somebody who is mad. Then they'll be pointing fingers, oh, go away, don't even come close to me. I know that this happens in the community. Sometimes mentally challenged come close to, we are selling food. And then you tell the person, go, 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 go. We know that, yes, if you give, the person will continuously come. But you see, the little help that we do always goes and comes back to us as well. So as an ummah and as a community, it's very important that we help and support in little way. If it is helping with the NGOs or other organizations, that could help because you cannot go and take them off the street. If there is the necessary help, please let's give it. If you have sadaqah you want to give to the mental health or the various hospitals, let's do. If it is prayers, alhamdulillah. If it is the support, alhamdulillah. Everything is very important. So I'll end here by saying, Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
wɔ baada wɔ bilɛ hyi ni yɛbiɛ ne ewie mo ni ikɛba na gbe yɛ yɛli kɛbo amɔ yɛ mi ikɛ ewa akɛhyɛ obaya oya na moko yɛ asylum ni nakan gbɔmɔ ehela abɔ ne ete kɛ yahyeɛ noko bɛ na abanya afe yɛ nsɛ wɔta twɔn ne mi eko no wɔ na okɔ ɛtɔmɔ yi ha wɔ mi hyɛ hyi ni miɛ awerɛho emɔ mi antwalala moko ntwalala ne kemfe ni lewu edomo heko ni enjo ni bone ejuo enjo fe moko ni jomo tun oni ni won ntami bone ejuo ni bi akeshin driver nti wei mujidi se wa boda nye yo ake eyeseke gbomo na eyeseke ni ntwon bone echaki omi kete se ke calculate 1 2 3 ke papa ke cham yeti left mo abgena mo fan mo do an kwele ne keson efe ni e correct mo shi loko eyako ojogba ewo water shi wo susu ye wo na akeshin moko ni danumo jino ni kelete seke yeli mi e ona keke yi seke dason esumone ni moko ni eshele ni ekelete mi e eye seke no shi na kan ni e no eshele o moko ni te yu se yemo ni ke nana kan ha mo ete seke yeli mi no bana na enye chomi ke nye ke yakemba ewo bana ke shin no ni gbomot na he problem emi yo ewo amenta wo yeli ke bo amo keji oyenoko no ke ba wa me ameba momi aja ke government pe ni nenye ekura be fe Allahu anna wo fe mobo ke meni yo na kan sumi Allahu anna mobo aja ke ewieko ake ekume wo ke rukia eke rukia ehin akesa no wofi shibiame no won fe rukia woke doctor foya no hu afemini akechahi aja keshi ekule ebi ni sane na chofanko ne ko ni ehi ajo dani no fe no aya no ke bo ho solimo nyimbo ebutue shibe kuma ko dise ake solimo son benu bana ibana na agba Allahu ajo wonyami yuwe.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Doctor, we thank you so much.